My name is Stefan Sauber. I live in the woods of Annapolis, Maryland. I am a medical game software company entrepreneur.
To describe me.
Well, I asked my best friend of 20 years, and his answer was, in 3 words, eccentric, perfectionist, and surgical. I came from a middle-class family, and yes, we traveled quite a bit when I was young, once to Germany at the age of 8, and then to Asia, a couple of countries there, and when I was about 12. In fact, that's when I turned 12, I think. Like I said, I've traveled a little bit with family when I was younger, and more recently been living in Asia, a couple different countries like China and Japan, as well as Korea, and taken a lot of trips to Southeast Asian countries. For the last 3 years, right about the time I was in Hanoi, I've had this unexplained chronic fatigue in which I just feel only half alive and half mentally present. Half physically present, half mentally present. You know, as if, kind of like you do when you're sick, only not all the way. So I've yet to meet a Western doctor who doesn't say that's out of my specialty, that's not my department. And in the last few weeks, I've also seemed to have developed a hernia at only age 28. So it's been recommended that I get surgery for that, but I'm very loath to use a knife to correct something that might be correctable by a simple exercise or massage therapy or something like that. Something that is not standard in the Western field. Well, the Indians and Chinese have come as far as they have and survived to this day with these alternative and Eastern styles of medicine. And there has to be some merit to something that's had 5,000 years of trial and error. However, I'm highly skeptical of pretty much all of the practitioners of this non-standard medicine that I've met, at least here in the States. And my God, my pancake's burning. And so they don't really play a big part of my life here, no. I do a minimum regimen of exercises daily, push-ups and pull-ups, maybe just 1 set per day. So yeah, I would consider myself relatively healthy. I'm not grossly overweight, and you know, I'm not in a bubble somewhere. I cook at home. My pancake's burning here. Well, sometimes I cook at home. And I like to go to out to eat, you know, as a social occasion, but I'd much prefer to cook because I have control. You know, I need to have control over everything: the taste, the composition, nutrition. One could say I definitely eat too many carbs, and yeah, I could definitely use a diet of more water content, alkaline foods. That's been recommended to me by Eastern nutritionists. And yeah, I could definitely exercise more, or at least more efficiently. I have trouble sleeping on a regular basis. I will always seem to be kept up, and my mind keeps racing even when I try to sleep, so there might be some sleep apnea going on there. But yeah, I've a lot of issues keeping focus on one task as well, so there's yeah, a way of keeping my mind calm and focused, and so I get a lot of headaches and migraines a lot. So that's something I could change. I'm very adventurous when it comes to these kinds of things, new techniques. Being a vegetarian and an animal rights activist, I would have to decline any procedure that involved killing a live animal for it. So I would not, for example, eat a scorpion. I would consider that meat, and I would have issues bathing in a goat's blood if a guy had to slit a goat's throat in order to squeeze its blood out for me to bathe in. I would consider that. It's not because it would be too unpleasant of a feeling or too unpleasant to bathe in. I would not go through it simply at a moral standpoint, because I don't think that it's worth it to take an animal's life away just to cure a minor ailment of my own. Again, I draw the line at harming animals, because I don't think that it's fair to kill them just to cure something minor. I would go for anything extreme in the sense of eating a 100-year-old goose egg or something like that. I don't really have any limits when it comes to that. I would just simply have a moral issue in hurting other beings or other people.
One thing you might not know about me just by looking at me is that I make a damn good dribble castle. My best quality is that I don't listen to other people too much. And my worst quality is that I don't listen to other people that much.
What really gets me is scam artists. People who will copy off of someone else a technique, someone else that got famous for it or developed it, and then themselves pretend to be the inventor of it, or at least the original propagator, and sell it to others for their own namesake, i.e. to start a cult or just to take people's money. And in the Eastern medicine and non-standard medicine field, you can bet that there are a whole boatload of these kinds of people. And that really, when I meet those people, I just want to throw them in the river. I usually suppress my stressful reaction to something. I'll still be feeling stressed in my mind, but most people who know me say that I'm not overtly emotional. Most stressful time in my life. I ran out of money one time when I was in Korea, and to make my way to the ferry off to China, I ended up doing portraits, doing sketches for people on the street, and I was able to feed myself and get out of the country after about 3 months. Why wouldn't I deserve it? Why wouldn't I be a perfect candidate? What do I hope to learn? Well, first and foremost, I want to add to my repertoire of medical knowledge with which I can help myself and others. And as a very big side bonus, I want an opportunity to travel and go somewhere new and meet new strange people. I like to do that, as you can see.